Convention Center is witnessing again a huge set of professionals, entrepreneurs, technopreneurs and learners due to Tiecon 2023. Heading TIE is Anita. She is the president of TIE, and she has been instrumental in organizing this beautiful conference, and people are enjoying and taking benefit with the new technology and the technological revolution that is being discussed here and promoted here. Welcome, ma'am, to YoIndiaTV with me, Jasleen. What's your overall take on the challenges and the good things that you want to share with the viewers when you were actually organizing this conference?
So Tiecon is just one of many things that we do in our mission to foster entrepreneurship. TIE was actually formed right here in Santa Clara 31 years ago, and it continues to be focused on that mission. But part of my job is to make sure that TIE remains very relevant in today's conversations, but also maintains the legacy of 31 years.
Much has changed in 25 years. With access to information via internet, smart devices, and social media at your fingertips, everyone has an opportunity to become an entrepreneur. Over 70% of teenagers want to be entrepreneurs, and 50% have plans to start their own business. It's becoming a career. Through innovation, technology also has been changing rapidly, from pages to smartphones, from dial-in networks to smart cities, and from gasoline cars to autonomous vehicles. Through all these changes, TIE and Tiecon have stood the test of time and continue to be even more relevant. As we look to the next 25 years, it's time to use the best in technology, innovation, virtualization, and data-driven approach to grow exponentially.
Tiecon is our flagship conference, and we can't do it without the 300 plus volunteers, the members of TIE who come forth to volunteer to figure out what are the trending technologies. And this year we are particularly excited by 4 new tracks: manufacturing and getting America ready for manufacturing. And as you can see, we have some of the giants of the semiconductor industry, from Micron, Qualcomm, Western Digital, Intel, and Applied Materials. And of course, we also have Gilead, who is a huge sponsor, and they will be talking about manufacturing and sustainability. We heard from Joydeep Ganguly this morning, and he was very inspirational. And in addition, as you mentioned, Jasleen, that there are also investors. We have one of the biggest investors in Silicon Valley, who is Jagdeep Singh Bachar, and you had a few bites from him as well. He is the CIO of UCB with $157 billion, very much focused also on biotech and life sciences.
What are the top 3 aspects of investment that you always keep in mind while making the decisions?
The first thing is to be patient. And patience means being able to weather the storm and all the difficulties that happen when you are investing. And in order to be patient, you are better off doing fewer things, because then you have the time to understand what you're investing in and be able to take a longer time horizon. And then the third thing is, don't always try to do things that are complicated. And anything you invest in, make sure you understand it, because something will always go wrong. But if you don't understand it, then you end up getting in trouble. And so simplicity and understanding things. And I guess the most important rule I would say that summarizes all of these 3 things is, whenever somebody brings me a great opportunity, I try to ask the question, does my mother understand this?
Oh, wow.
Because if I can go home and explain this to my kids or my mother or my wife, then I understand it well. And if you can do that and you can be patient, chances are you might have a good return over the long term.
One of the big challenges was how do we stay relevant with everything that is happening in climate tech? So what we did was we introduced a climate tech track that was focused on how do we win the race to net zero with technology. And the other conversation is really generative AI, because no conversation is complete without generative AI. And you will see that we're going to end the conference with generative AI, and we have all of the stalwarts and all of the leading thought leaders in generative AI coming tomorrow to talk about this.
Hi everyone, we have one of the attendees, Dhaval Shah, right here at Tiecon 2023. We just had a wonderful generative AI session where we also learned that the actual AI sometimes controls the quality of generative AI. And I see that AI is here to supplement the human power and not replace it. That's my feeling, and after hearing some of the sessions, I think this is a good takeaway. So Dhaval, what's your take on generative AI and overall conference?
So I'll start with the overall conference. Of course, Tiecon is one of the premier entrepreneurship conferences in the Bay Area. I've been attending since many years, and I find it very nice in terms of meeting a lot of good connections, the wonderful quality of the talks, keynotes, various sessions. And then as far as generative AI goes, where I attended in the last half of the day today, today is the last day of the conference, and I tend to agree with you what you said, right? It's about helping human beings. It's not about replacing unless you don't keep up with it. So who will be replaced? Only people who don't learn AI.
Industries like legal and accounting and insurance, in a big way, is thinking about how to make use of this technology that they've never thought about. And that actually creates an opportunity for people or for founders like yourself to actually start companies in these areas, from logistics to accounting to legal, where you can actually really build something very easily. And maybe it's venture scale, maybe it's not. But you can certainly, there's a whole buyer pool emerging, and it's a massive greenfield opportunity where you're automating workflows and also actually improving SLAs for the buyer profile who would be very confused with a sophisticated CRM tool, but understands that if I input some data in it and it structures and gives it back, that's valuable to me.
Hi everyone, as you know, Mateen Syed has been a speaker and he has been supporting the conference in various ways as organizer, as leading certain tracks like Global Connect from many years. And this year again, in 2023, he has been instrumental in bringing this beautiful conference together. Welcome Mateen to YoIndiaTV with me, Jasleen, and tell us your experience this year.
No, thank you for the opportunity. As you know, we have come back after 3 years. 2019 was the last conference, and we have gone through the pandemic. So this was the first conference that put together after almost 3 years, the fourth year. So a lot of planning has got on to, a lot of risk was involved, but we also knew that our ecosystem is huge. We needed in-person connectivity, and the yearning was there in people, so we had to plan this. But like I said, a lot of risk involved, but we took the decision, and the leadership of Silicon Valley was instrumental in taking this initiative and putting this together. And I think, as you have been around for the last 2 days, I think it's well received. It's well received. People were waiting for this opportunity. I think in-person networking has its own meaning. Virtual conferences, were good for those years, but people wanted to come out and meet. So we are very happy we took this decision collectively, and we have done, an amazing job. As you know, this is a volunteer-driven organization. Everybody starting with President Dan is a volunteer, and so at the end we have two sets of volunteers, right? We have the planning volunteers who do content, marketing, sales, etc. And then on the day of, we have the operations volunteers. So overall, we get about 150 volunteers for the days of the conference and about 100 odd before. So it's a good camaraderie, it's a good experience. So at the end of the day, I think we're all very happy we took this step.
Hi everyone, everyone is enjoying the conference. We are hearing beautiful speeches and panel discussions. Joining me are some of the guests here who have also been contributing to the conference in a big way with their thoughts and speeches, and they are enjoying every moment of the conference. We have Rajiv Kuti from BizDev, VMware, Monty Bhatia, the Vice President global systems integration from where Eric Moore, who is the director at Global Systems Integrators from where, and finally we have Sandy Malik, the Red Hat Cloud Specialist Executive at IBM Red Hat. Beautiful team, great thoughts. I was hearing you guys on the stage. What's your overall feel about the conference? Are you enjoying it?
Absolutely, I'm enjoying it. This is the first time actually I've attended this. I've been told that the crowds have been much bigger in past, but this is great. It's great to be in person. It's great to be connecting, networking, and talking to people, sharing ideas. I can't think of a better way to collaborate and meet new people than this forum right here.
Oh yeah, there's tons of energy. I love the open dialogue up on the panels. That was great to see.
Yeah, I've actually been coming here for like 15 or 16 years. So yeah, if you're an executive or a technology person living anywhere around here, it's a must-attend event for conferencing and networking in the Bay Area.
So what was one key takeaway for you? You've heard other people. So was it something that you would like to inculcate going forward, or absorb it as, yeah, this is something new and I just heard, I learned it?
Well, I think I've learned a lot about AI for sure in the panel discussions. The multi-cloud and the edge was another interesting panel discussion. So obviously, every time you come to one of these TIE events, learning is always there, but then the learning comes with how is it working in the market. I think that's what TIE does so beautifully. You should tie these things together, the business and the technology.
So I'm very pleased to see people who are being mentored here. I think your mentor-mentee connection program is being much appreciated. I also saw the startup entrepreneurs being awarded. They were getting qualified for TIE 50 award, and they were all set up for funding, some of them. So a lot of people were privileged in terms of getting supported in different ways. So tell us a little more about these programs.
So those are the backbone of what we do. Obviously, the mantra for us fostering entrepreneurship for the last 30 years, and you've done an amazing job as an organization across the world. But to talk about the program specifically, we have VC Connect, we have Mentor Connect, we have the Startup Bootcamp, AIML Bootcamp, and then we have the TIE 50 Awards. So TIE 50 Awards is a huge program that was started way back in 2009, and we invite global startups to come and participate. And today was the award ceremony, as you saw.
Yeah.
And mentee mentor, that is the backbone of our organization. And for any entrepreneur, they look forward to getting this opportunity with experienced people who have done this gig multiple times, or who have good experience in investing, running companies at different levels. So that is a big value add for startup entrepreneurs. So that is, I'd like to say, a huge program that we over 2 days. And if I go back, we have the VC Connect, similar to Mentor Connect. So those entrepreneurs who are mature, ready, and are willing to talk about investment opportunity, the VCs come and give them the opportunity to talk to them. But the most one of the other successful programs is Bootcamp. We have 2 AML and Startup Bootcamp, and again we get international participation in the bootcamps as well. So these are fundamental programs for us, and like you said, startups do really appreciate these programs.
Hi everyone, we are so excited at Tiecon 2023. Joining me is Mr. Prashant Gulati, who has flown all the way from Dubai, and Prashant has been leading the TIE Dubai chapter since many years. He is also a trustee on the Global TIE board, and we are very excited to have you in the Bay Area. How's your experience?
Well, it's always awesome to come back to the Bay Area and to where TIE started many years ago. And Tiecon is back in real life. Like, we see the number of people around here. You see people want to come back here, and they're back here. So this year would be awesome. It is some great shows, some great people speaking. And over the next 1.5 more days, we'll probably see some of the best startups present. I am personally involved in the Mentor Connect part, so I have been mentoring the young startups for the last many years, and I come here to do that. I'm looking forward to hearing some of the innovative ideas that they have.
Wonderful. So post-COVID, I see people are in a different mode. They just came out and they are presenting some new stuff which we have never seen before. This year, it's a little different. Do you see any difference from your perspective?
Well, I hope there is, because what I'm hoping is in the years of COVID, they sat down and built more than they would have otherwise. They didn't spend time in fighting traffic. 101 was emptier, so I hope they were building things which we want to see. So I hope this year, obviously, the financial slowdown in terms of investment and stuff will all put a cloud on top. But at the same time, I believe that people are far more interested in seeing what's happening. Generative AI, all these kind of things actually make a very heady combination at this point of time. So let's see what we see here today.
So the idea is really we're trying to catalyze a sustainable future. How we produce chemicals, how we produce plastics, how we make fertilizers, and how we can use renewables to the greatest extent possible to power these processes, not burning fossils to produce temperature and pressure, which as a chemical engineer myself, believe you me, I'm very fond of those processes. They're just not sustainable, they're not equitable. They have challenges ahead. So we need to come up with new options. That's the market opportunity.
Which technology, may be related to healthcare, since you're focused on healthcare at this time. So what is something that you see as most evolving or something that is most exciting for you?
So, artificial intelligence impacts everyone. So it's an important part of healthcare too. But I think genetics, that whole DNA sequencing, finding out through bioinformatics which part of your DNA connects to the probability of your getting cancer, getting some other disease that you might be able to, if not avoid, at least delay the onset and lower the intensity of the onset by taking some precautions. If you get that early enough, you can change your lifestyle to be able to handle it, instead of getting into a curative mode, having the problem and then having medicines to take care of it. The other thing that's happening is, if you look at it, bacteria is becoming antibiotics are no longer effective. Bacteria are becoming, they're overcoming antibiotics. So the doctors are not going to know what to give you, even for common colds and stuff, where you need an antibiotic. So, there are new things like phalanges, and, there are a whole lot of new things that haven't been experimented with, are being experimented in some areas, but that haven't come into medicine per se. I think those are going to come in. So, lots of exciting changes are happening.
So what is one takeaway or benefit that you think you had from the conference?
Just getting the name out and of our product and publicizing it and meeting good friends, because it is an Indian event, and sometimes I run into our family friend here, which I haven't seen in years. So
yeah, definitely. I think the Indian community needs a place, especially the professionals who are out there in the software and all these entrepreneurial worlds, the venture world. And this is the only conference that I know of that brings all of that together.
So Anita, without sponsors, no event is ever possible. They have a major contribution in supporting you financially, morally, and in all other possible ways to bring you what you need, the required infrastructure, the required resources to put together such a huge conference. So would you like to mention some of the key sponsors?
Absolutely, and I think that the sponsors not only support us, like you said, financially, but what they bring us their thought leaders. You can see that we have leading companies like Gilead and Micron. We also have Canada, who is really opening up to a lot of entrepreneurship, and so they've been a big supporter. We also have Suzuki, and we'll be talking a little bit more about them this evening, and we have several venture funds coming from India. As we see the whole Indo-US corridor open, we have TurboStart, we have Generative Ventures, Bloom, and VMware continues to be extremely supportive. They have given us many speakers and have supported us in this conference. And cybersecurity, we can't thank Venafi enough for their phenomenal stories that they shared. And Tech Mahindra, Eisner Amper, as well as the Chuk firm have continued to be good annual sponsors for us. And I want to kind of thank the Motwani Jadeja Foundation as well for bringing Rocket Ship, which was a focus on how the CHIPS Act that impacts India and how the technology is impacting Indo-US relations. So without these fantastic sponsors, nothing is possible.
Every engineering team that is pushing the limits of software in the world of AI is having to think about silicon. You know, I'm on the board of a company called, I'm an investor in a company called Anyscale, and their core innovation is how do we gang up hundreds or thousands of GPUs, and how do you orchestrate, you know, GPUs to enable software engineers who are writing code in Python to actually be able to drive execution. You never had to think about that problem in most other realms of software. So I do think silicon is the new oil. I do think software engineering teams that are pushing the limits of machine learning, I think we increasingly think about the silicon dimension. I do think it's a huge opportunity, as we've talked about, for India. We have the software talent, we have the demand in India. India is now one of the largest buyers of silicon in the world, and probably is on a short list of 6 or 7 countries that can build a silicon industry. I mean, I think that list is less than 10. And everyone else, I think, will be relegated to being a buyer from someone else.
Hey everyone, we have one more beautiful attendee here, Arifa Khan. Welcome to YoIndiaTV. And what was the best track that you felt you had a great learning experience with?
That's an easy and an obvious answer. It was obviously generative AI. My first TIE Global was in the year 2003, 2 decades ago, and I met all these amazing individuals like Kanwal Rekhi, the father of TIE Global, and Sam Pitroda and so on, back then in Dallas. And I've been a regular at TIE Global since then, and generative AI has been making a lot of headlines of late and breaking new grounds, and most of it is happening in the Bay Area. Just in the past 1 week, we have had a lot to cope with in terms of announcements from the big tech firms. So it was awesome to hear the insider views on what the venture capitalists in the Bay Area thought about the generative AI, what are the kind of trends to watch out for, and what is in store for humanity from AI.
This was a very interesting session and very insightful, especially about different demographics and geographies, housing different kinds of talented people that you spoke about. My question is, since AI ML is a very hot topic, people are threatened by artificial intelligence as well, but I, being on a positive side, truly believe that AI can be put to many positive uses. Is there anything from HR perspective that you see or you can envision in the future that AI can handle and help your department?
I was reading an article yesterday, and the article called out about 20 jobs where there's fear that those jobs are going to go away. But the writer said, if you change your perspective to, I'm fearful because I'm going to lose my job, to because AI and robots can do it, to how can I make it work for me? How can I, outsource some of my job and tasks to the technology so I can do a better strategic value-added work, right? So as long as we keep that perspective, technology has not been able to erase human race in the last 100 years, and that's not going to ever happen, right? We keep getting better and better with the use of technology. In HR, I think there's several uses, right? So in order of, scanning the market for better talent, writing the job descriptions, creating knowledge bases, right? And providing employee support, in just-in-time support and answers to employees on several policies and benefits, etc., where a human is not needed. Technology can do that job. I think there's going to be just marvelous use cases coming up in that area.
So what's your message to everyone who's watching you on YoIndiaTV?
I think Silicon Valley is alive and kicking. There's no other place in the world like Silicon Valley, and there's no other organization like TIE for mentoring and inculcating the spirit of entrepreneurship. So fostering entrepreneurship is our mantra, and we do that to the best of ability.
Thank you so much, Mateen, for sharing some insights. Keep up the great work, and congratulations to you and the entire team of TIE, the beautiful non-profit who's been fostering the entrepreneurship and technical promotion right here in the Silicon Valley.
Yeah, thank you again for the opportunity, but I should mention that this is labor of love. Like I said, about 250 plus volunteers across the board. However, TIE Silicon Valley, like any other organization, has a very, very small staff. And this year, it's all women-driven organization, led by all women. So very, very happy that from president all the way down to AD and other staff members are women, highly empowered, highly enthused, and they carry a lot of load on their backs. So kudos to them and to everybody who got involved. Thank you.